We're back. And just like that, we're back, my
Hey,
friends. Welcome on, Kev. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We're gonna wait a couple seconds here to let people kind of filter in, and then let's get started, man.
Let's go, man. I'm
All
excited.
right, all right. So, if you are joining us, everybody, welcome on. I'm gonna get it right. We'll get it together here real soon, everybody. All right. I think we fixed it, so we'll know by next week when we're going around again. Kev, my man. So
Right.
this is Tuesday tea time. Welcome on. Welcome on. I
Thanks.
would like to
I
ask
appreciate
you, what are you drinking today?
it. It's literally water. That's it, man. It's just beautiful, regular H2O. Nothing new, nothing exciting. You know what I mean?
Nothing special,
Not
nothing
Martinelli. You
exotic.
know?
Hey, listen. Sometimes when the internet drives you to do crazy things, man.
That's true.
Oh
That is
man.
definitely
Well, it's good to have you on. I'm today. I'm sipping on something cold brewy that my guy Matthew Bologna brought in. Some love to Matt. I want to thank our tech team too. By the way, if you're just catching us, man, you can't do stuff without a tech team running around and trying
hey,
to get
that's
stuff together,
this is the truth.
right? Okay. So, bro, where did you grow up?
Where did I grow up? Oh wow. Well, okay, so let's start that. I was born in Pasadena. But
Ah,
yeah, I was born in Pasadena, Huntington Hospital, because my mom was doing her MPH at Loma Linda University.
okay.
He was practicing for the exam.
Kevin, I think we lost Kevin. Did we lose connection again?
Lost me?
I hear you. I hear you. Are you there?
Whoa, I'm right here.
There you are. There you are. You're a little pixelated, but I got you.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha.
love for the tech team. So hey, listen, I can hear you. We lost you for a second there, but you're back. Fill us back in on that story. How's your internet over there, bro? Is it okay?
It's pretty good, I would think so. I used my internet, and I'm using a hotspot as well, just to be safe. So
Come on, Kevin, get it together. I think we lost Kevin again. What's up, Mikey? It might be me. This might all be my fault. I might be the root of all brokenness here. And if so, I want to give an apology to the world. Can you all see me okay? If you're on, I'd love for you to go ahead and number one, subscribe to our YouTube channel because we're going to get better at this. And number two, I'd love for you to let me know if you can see me clearly and if I'm coming through nice and sharp. If I am, great. We're going to get Kevin right here sooner or later, and we're just going to rock this out. There's my guy right now calling in. My dude. There you are.
okay, it's clear.
I got you now. You're clear.
I wonder what in the
Where do
world
you
is happening.
where do
Today
you
is
live?
just not.
Antarctica? What's going
No, today is just not that day. I don't know what's going
Right?
on.
No, I know. That's what we do with when we deal with the internet, man. It happens. It's part of life.
Completely.
Hey, if you're just catching up with us, get over it. It's just life. We're on the internet. I am with Kevin Olusola, and we are talking about life and dreams and faith. So, Kev, we were just talking about where you were born. You were born in Pasadena at the Huntington Hospital, that is super crazy because that's where I was born, bro.
Oh, for real?
No, I wasn't, but I thought
Stupid.
I thought we try to get some common ground there. No, so your mom was at Loma Linda University doing her MPA. You were born
Yeah,
in Pasadena. Pick up from there, bro.
sure. Yeah, my mom was doing her MPH at Loma Linda,
Hmm.
and my dad was doing. He was practicing for the foreign exam to be able to a resident for residency in the United States.
Right.
He's a psychiatrist from Nigeria. My mom is from Grenada in the Caribbean. And so, we went to Philadelphia for a little bit for my dad to finish residency. And then I eventually ended up in Kentucky. And that's where I was raised up until probably like 10th, up to 11th grade. Because after that, I went to boarding school.
Wow. Can you tell me what is your favorite thing about Kentucky growing up? What was it?
Oh, wow. I think it's the Southern charm and the people. Like, there's just a sense of warmth and friendliness and kindness and love that I think is kind of indescribable, that I've always appreciated. And I feel like that's something I've always tried to keep with me, because in certain parts of the country, I went to boarding school in Massachusetts, and I went to college in Connecticut, and then coming to Southern California, it's a bit of a different culture, and I miss that kind of culture in Kentucky, where everybody's just standard baseline nice from what I remember. So it's beautiful. I love it.
Huh, okay, very good. Welcome on, everybody. As you're coming in, we are making sure we're getting our kinks out of the way. This week hasn't been worse than ever before. The enemy's always trying to do something to mess us up. You know what I mean? I am with the magnificent Kevin Olusola. We're talking about life. If you happen to have any questions or any comments you want to throw out there to him, go ahead and post it up here, and I'll throw it up on the screen, and we'll all check it out together. Kev, are you following along with me, Kev?
I am. I'm hearing everything you're saying. I don't see you, but I hear you. And that's what's important to me.
Do you happen to have your Facebook on so you can see the stream? Because
watching right now as we speak.
Fantastic. I wanna just throw up a couple things. I know that we don't have a lot of common people that we've crossed paths with, but it may be just that I've been able to connect with a few people who might know you. So why don't you check out your feed real quick? Look on your Facebook feed and tell me about this.
Where'd you get that from, Mom?
I'm not confirming nor denying whether or not this may be from your mother or someone like that.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. It could have been from my sister as well. You know what? To be honest, I don't actually remember what this is from. I couldn't tell you.
Not at all?
I could not tell you what that was from.
All right.
I wish I knew. I'm guessing we were at a zoo. I wanted to pet an animal. Mm-hmm. This animal was nice and friendly. You know what I mean? And it made for a good pic because I looking cute in this picture. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, let me remind you of this time from somebody close to you. They said about the goat, he loved the animals but hated to get dirty. We had to coax him to touch the animals and reassure him that he would not get dirty. It was the same for soccer. He was really good at the game, but hated to get dirty, so he did not want to play if it rained. Is this true or false, Kevin?
And yes, that's all true. I'll never forget, because there was the soccer thing I remember. There was one game, I was a goalie, and I was actually really good. But then there was one game where it was pouring down rain, and I made all the blocks, but I had to get down in the mud, and I was like furious. I was like, I will never do this again. Don't you dare tell me I will ever do soccer. It was it was a whole ordeal. It was
not having that, huh?
No, you still can't get me to play soccer today. Stop.
Yeah, well, it seems like you were the kind of kid that liked to be clean and well put together. I got a couple more pictures that I'm just throwing up there. So if you're just starting to look at your feed, I may have a couple more things in my box of tricks to pull out.
I cannot believe this.
I was told that you did not like to go to church dressed down when you were little. So much so that when they had a picnic, a church picnic, you would not go to the picnic without a suit on. You told your mom, because she wanted you to wear them jeans overalls. You remember those from the 90s? She said or not her. Somebody said that you said you didn't want to look like a farmer.
That's exactly what I said. Oh my gosh, my mom, I cannot believe. How do you even get in touch with my mom? That's what I want to know.
Shout out to your cousin. We happen to have connected this week for some other completely different reason. And he's like, oh yeah, that's my cousin. I talked to his mom, and I was like, oh, would you? And he was like, let me hook that up, man. All love to Ansem. Ansem Paul, thank you, man. Good looking out, my man.
No, I'm looking for you. I'm going to come and get you. Yeah, I always wanted to dress nice and clean, and even throughout high school, I'd be the kid wearing a shirt with a polo and a nice sweater vest, everything. And people are like, "What in the world? Like, why is he doing this? He's just not cool." I'm like,
hey, you gotta look dapper.
Man. It's so funny.
I get it, man. You gotta look right. Sometimes even rocking uniforms. Hey, man, you got it. You gotta rock it.
For sure, but it's funny coming into the music industry because I had to learn this whole new thing of swag. Like getting, once we signed to a label, that's when we worked with a stylist, and I started to have to figure out my own artistic expression. And it was so weird for me because I come from a classical background, so from a classical background, you're usually wearing suits all the time, and ties and stuff. So it took a lot to get me into certain things. Like even this took it was pushing it for me. But, eventually I kind of found that nice medium of just kind of having swag, I guess. And oh my gosh, what?
That's my dude right there, man. I feel like he and I were in high school together. I feel like
what?
We were in band, rocking it, baby.
That is so fun. I'm so sorry. I was like in the middle of speech and I saw that. I'm like, that's my marching band uniform. Oh my goodness.
You look good, dude. You look good.
I remember that time. Crazy. I hated it and I loved it at the same time.
Right.
Wait, what?
Now,
oh yeah, this is a good one.
So I didn't realize, obviously, when you hit the scene and you guys hit it big, you were beatboxing. Right. And there is this kind of this aura about people who beatbox. Like usually you're like, okay, this cat is about hip hop. He's doing some major stuff here and there, very urban. And so I, probably including a ton of other human beings, didn't realize that you actually have a classical background. You come from a classical background, and you've been playing this cello obviously for quite some time. When did you pick up the cello?
For sure. I started piano when I was 4. I started the cello when I was 6, and then the saxophone when I was 10. But I never wanted to do the cello. That's the one instrument I was adamant on not doing because I told my mom, like, the saxophone's the one that gets the girls.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
I saw it's literally, I'm like 4 years old, and I saw Bill Clinton on the Arsenio Hall show. Remember when he was running for president?
Yes.
Sorry, 1991. He's running for president, and he's playing the saxophone, and I was like, oh, I want to play that. I want to play that. Right. Because he's playing the saxophone. And my mom said, no, you're too small to do that. So she tried to get me to do the cello, and I was like, this is stupid. But then I just I realized as I was trying the other instruments, for some reason the cello was the one where I felt like I could not ever master. And I just kept going at it and kept going at it. And I mean, I'm 31 now, and I'm still trying to master it. So it's the one that I just kept going on. So.
Man, well, but you're doing a phenomenal job at it. Someone asked, when did you start actually beatboxing?
Oh my gosh. I wish I could tell you a specific day and date. I just feel like I've always been making sound. My parents would just tell me I would be young, just making sounds in the car, and they'd look behind me like, shut up, I'm trying to drive. Like every single time. Seriously. But I didn't realize it was called beatboxing until boarding school. I went to this place called Phillips Academy in Andover, Mass. And they had a cappella group for men there called the Yorkies. And so one guy heard me just making sounds, and he's like, yo, we need you in my group. I'm like, for what? He's like, for acapella. I'm like, I don't even know what acapella is. Goodbye. And so he's like, no. What you're doing, this is a vocal percussion. I was like, I mean, yeah, I'm just making sounds with my mouth. He goes, can we use that skill to be on a recording that we're doing right now? I was like, I don't know how you're going to use this. This is just noise. Like, no, I'm serious. Come. So I went, and that's when I first heard about like using beatboxing for music. And I was kind of like, I was really surprised by the opportunity. And so I did it for a year, and then I just stopped, and I just kept doing beatboxing on my own. I went to Yale for undergrad, so that's where like it's like the mecca of acapella, and I just did not do any of it. But it was kind of until I started pairing it with the cello, that's kind of when I think I started to have to kind of solidify it more for more musical purposes. So
Right. So I ask these questions because it's playing in the background in your life to us right now. All of us who've been watching you and your group, the Pentatonix, completely blow up in the scene and do some phenomenal things.
thank you.
That's really the backstory to where you were at growing up, correct? What were you actually trying to achieve before music? I mean, music had always been there. It had always kind of, you've cradled it, you've nurtured it. But really, what were you studying in school? Tell us about your academic history.
Oh,
Tell
sure.
us about your family background, like all that, man. We're really interested in that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, okay. So once again, my dad's from Nigeria and my mom's from Grenada, right? And so they're immigrants coming to the United States. And so I think coming from an immigrant mindset, you come to the United States because you want more opportunities for your children.
Right.
Um, and so, and also that means, you want your children to have some sort of level of success, and I think stable success.
Yeah.
So we're thinking, in Nigeria, they say, I doctor, lawyer, engineer, always. Like
Right.
those three things. And my dad was a doctor, and I always really loved what he did. And also, I mean, this is not a story I tell often. I actually, when I was growing up, I actually didn't like it when people said, "Oh, have you thought about music?" And this is the reason why. I didn't like it because I think in the media, especially at the time, when you would see African Americans, they'd be either R&B singers or rappers
Right.
or athletes. And I said, there's not much representation of black people being academics, engineers, doing, things that are not in the media sphere. And so I thought people were saying, oh no, this is what black people do. And I was like, no, I can do this too. I promise you I can do this too. So
Right.
I was adamant on focusing on academia because of it. Because I wanted to just show that representation that, there's more that just minorities can do. But then I didn't realize God was playing a joke on me. Okay, you have that. That's fine. That's fun. But I will call you into your purpose when I'm ready. And so that's kind of when at
He always
Yale,
knows what's up, man. He always knows what's up.
100%. I could have never expected it. So yeah, I was studying. I was an East Asian Studies major, and I was pre-med at Yale. So East Asian Studies because I was falling in love with China, Asia. I studied Chinese for a year and a half in China for my dissertation. And so it's just kind of through this whole rigmarole of things that God kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you're gonna do music, not academia." And I was confused, very confused. I can tell that whole story, but yeah, it was a
Wow.
confusing time.
How far along did you get in the program before God was like, "You're going the other way, bruh"?
Oh man, well I graduated from college, and then at that time I thought I was going to be studying for the MCAT, but right before I graduated, I had put up this video of me playing this piece called Julio. That is a piece by Mark Summer, who's part of the Turtle Island String Quartet.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was me playing cello and beatboxing, and I put it up and it went viral online. And right before I graduated, Scott from my band had messaged me and said, "Hey, we're looking for a beatboxer. Funny enough, we've gone through 5 different beatboxers, and yours came at the right time where we were looking for somebody. We're trying out for this TV show. Would you like to join?" And at first I said no. And then he said, "Well, listen, I'll pay for half your ticket. It'd be just a fun experience for you anyway." And so my thought going into it was, I was like, oh, well, I'll do this for a little bit. It'd be fun to have on my resume for medical school. That's literally what I thought. And then I met them 2 weeks after I graduated. And this whole thing is I would tell the whole story, but I cannot begin to explain to you how God's timing is perfect.
Yo, say
Literally,
that. Somebody needs to hear that out there today, right now. Somebody needs to hear that. God's timing is boom.
it's literally perfect. Like from the time I graduated, from the time that we won the TV show, the pieces that were set in place one by one, I could have never made it up. So
Wow.
once I graduated, the rest of it was kind of history. God kind of put me on this trajectory to make me know that his plan was sure for me.
So, do you actually know medicine then? Is that like something you could do a little bit of if you needed to?
No, not at all. I was pre-med, but
You're
I
like,
never
he's
actually
dead. I
went
can't
through
help.
medical school. I never went through any of the medical school classes at all.
Got you. Okay, well, I mean, like, so here we go. So we're gonna transition right into this. Pentatonix. It's, I believe, season 2, correct, of the sing
Season
off.
three. Season three.
Season 3.
Because season two was committed that one from Oakland.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hey, shout out to Terry Thomas, TT. If you're watching,
Yeah.
man, he came on earlier a couple weeks ago, man. To do, man, I'm so impressed by this cat, man. I'm sure they're all like that. I mean, just real down to earth, has a real love for God. But you guys, so you guys are season 3. You came in and tell us what was that what was that like, bro? Was it like, were you guys pretty confident about where you were at? Were you able to survey the other groups, and how did you feel in that season when you guys were moving towards the end of that season?
Sure. If I'm going to answer this question honestly, then I have to go back to this timing piece because it's what informed a lot of how I felt throughout this whole season. I'll say this. I thought it was the most fun experience I ever had. It was such a fun experience in the sense of that, like, it was a music, like, camp, literally. It's like a nerdy music camp for people that love to sing. So that was really cool. It was very intense. I mean, you're having literally 10-hour days. I mean, I was up every single day by like 5:30, just learning how to beatbox, because I had never beatboxed for anything like this, and all the sounds that the band was wanting me to do, I was like, I don't even know half these sounds. I don't know what like dubstep. I ain't never heard of any of these things. I'm a classical musician, so I just like had to do a ton of studying. But I feel like God was faithful, and if I could be honest, like, I mean, when we first started, I knew we had something interesting, and that was something very, very special, just like from the first time we sang. And this was the day before the audition. But then as we got into the TV show, I realized we really did have something very, very unique, and I did think we could go all the way. Now, let me explain this, because I really mean it. God's timing is perfect. So I put up this video in April of 2011. 2 big opportunities come. One was to join Pentatonix for the TV show.
Right.
And so I said yes. And then also the other one was to be the cellist for Gunger.
Oh.
So yeah, so I was Gunger's cellist because they were going on tour for the last tour that David Crowder ever did as the David Crowder Band.
Wow.
And so that was the 7 tour, and Crowder told him that he couldn't bring his whole group that he normally brings, like 16 people. So they saw my video and they said that you're the person that we need to have on tour. So let me explain this, because this is truly incredible and God's timing is perfect. So I graduate from college in May. The first week I fly down and I meet Gunger, and they asked, and we try to see if I was right for the tour, and it worked out perfectly. And so they said, the tour is going to be, if you listen to this, end of September to mid-November. So remember those dates, end of September to mid-November. I said, okay, that's cool. Love that. So then I try out for the sing-off the next week with the band. We make it. And then I asked them, what's the timing like? They said, if you make it to the finale, you will film from end of July to mid-September. And then you're going to come back for the finale end of November.
Stop.
And that's when I knew, but I'm going to be honest, that's when I knew, God, this timing is too perfect.
That's a Red Sea experience. That's a parting right there.
And that's when I said, God, I trust you that we're supposed to do this.
Right.
Whether we win or not, we're supposed to do this. And so that's why, like, when God sets his timing up, truly follow him. Do not have an ego. Don't think, what if just trust him. Even in the, like, most unclear times, because when I finally decided to do music, I had no idea what I was doing those first 2 years. But it's just being faithful for what the next step is, next step is. Because God's not supposed to show you the whole thing.
Come on now.
He's supposed to show you, are you willing to trust me? And this whole experience has been just nothing but trust. And so that's why I say that. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to preach right now.
You better preach.
But like
Woo.
that timing, it's too perfect. It's too perfect.
That's a word, man. That is a word. Wow. Now, at some point, you're going to have to tell your parents, your immigrant parents, listen, let me tell you, I come from an immigrant family, right? Like, you come here and you put your time in, and your parents are working their tails off, all kinds of hours, and they expect you to do your best to become something here in America. And the reason why is because you are their retirement plan. Like, so they've set you up to set them up. And they don't like it when you veer from their plans, because their plans is from the great Lord above, not your plans, right? So I'm sure you had to run into this, and you had to like tell them at some point. You had to come out about your music, your passion for music. Tell us about that. Was that a big deal? Was it cool? Were they like, oh yeah, son? You know, were they like an American family? Like, yeah, oh yeah, we love you. Yeah, just express yourself.
Yeah, no, that was one of the hardest and scariest times I'd ever had, because I thought I was about to completely demolish everything they've worked hard for. I mean, my dad and my mom, 2-3 jobs just to get me through boarding school, which is expensive, to get me through Yale, right? And you don't go from Yale to music, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. And so I was so scared to tell them, but I had to trust in faith. Like when God made it so unbelievably clear to me that I was supposed to do music, and I got down on my knees and I said, God, I think you're crazy, but I'm trusting you. And I'll never forget, it was like a whirlwind came into the room. Like I just remember I can't go back on my words. That faith, even though I was scared to do what I was about to do and tell them, it kept me going. And then also the verse, knowing that Jesus said, whoever did, like, if you're going to take up my cross, you have to be able to deny father, mother, family for me. And that was really hard to do, because in my culture, in those cultures, honor is everything. I'm trying to honor my parents in the Lord, and I knew this was something that the Lord had called me to do. So that's when, like, it was hard for a few years. I mean, they loved me, they believed in me, they even came to the sing-off and stuff. But I remember when we won the sing-off, and I remember moving to Los Angeles, and my dad saw my apartment where I was staying. I mean, it's a $600 apartment in Los Angeles.
Right.
It's the same apartment complex.
You were living in somebody's closet, basically.
Right. He texted me. He was crying. He was like, son, I'm so sad. Like, I did all this work so that you would be able to live a better life than I did in Nigeria. Why are you doing this? And I just tell my dad, like, I have to trust this, that I think I'm supposed to be here. And he trusted me. And honestly, he gave me crap, I think, starting. I'll never forget. It was the second Grammys that we won. It was the second Grammys. We literally go on stage. We sing with Stevie Wonder, give Ed Sheeran his Grammy for Song of the Year, his first Grammy that he ever won.
Right.
I get back down to my seat, and my dad's right next to me. He goes, I am so proud of you. So when are you going to go back and get your PhD? You've got to be kidding me, Dad.
Right.
He was so joking. At that point, he understood, and he believed in me. But no, it was a hard process. I know I'm telling a lot of stories, but it was hard. But God had to prove that His will was faithful, not me. So I'm glad He did.
No, I get it, man. I hate, like, it was on my 4th Grammy, and my mom was like, look, man, I just need you to get that 3rd PhD, get it done, son. And I was like, but mother, I speak 15 languages. I mean, is it not enough? Is it not enough? Right? You get it.
Exactly.
So I popped up a question earlier from our friend Jillian. Sis, she wrote this: what challenges have you experienced as a person in the eye of general public and the faith community at the same time? And have there been any clashes? How did you navigate through that, right? How did you move through those kinds of things? Can you think of anything?
Yeah, I can think of it in 2 ways. One of the things that I feel like I had to figure out was where my boundaries were in terms of following God. Because I think a lot of times people say, if you're going to go into Hollywood, the music industry, you're going to sell your soul. But wasn't it God that said that we have to be the light in darkness?
Ooh, come on now.
That's our job. But that also means you have to have a very mature faith.
Yeah.
And you have to spend time and live out this Jesus every single day. And not just like, oh, it's my morning time and then I'm going to do my thing. Like, this is who I am. This is who I'm grounded in and rooted in. So, there were a couple instances where I had to really be 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 faithful. I mean, one instance was on the sing off when this is probably the first earliest one where they wanted us to sing a song that I just couldn't sing. It was Usher's OMG.
Mm,
I don't know if I could sing this. So I went to
right.
Scott and I told him about it. We went to the producers and they said, okay, let's see what we can do. And then they said, you know what, you're going to have to sing the song. And I said, okay, if that's the case, work with me here. Can I change a lot of the lyrics so that I can sing it? And they said 100%. So I'm glad
Ah,
they were able to work with me. I think the second thing I remember in terms of the general public and figuring out how I was going to do my work was, I believe in the Sabbath as all, most Seventh-day Adventists do. And so I remember, and I didn't do this well in the beginning, trying to figure out, where do I draw the line between doing secular work on the Sabbath and not and stuff. And I remember, in the beginning, I just kind of did it because I didn't know any better. But then my sister, who is a prayer warrior and just a warrior for God in general, it was the summer of 2012. She came to me. She stayed with me. She goes, Kevin, listen, if you're supposed to be God's child, you're supposed to follow him in everything, not just in part because he loves you and he will give you grace. You're supposed to follow him 100%. And if you know and you don't do, shame on you.
mm,
So I had to take a real kind of look, and I said, okay, God, if this is for me, you will make a way. And if not, then I'll trust you through it.
mm.
I had to tell my band, I said, first and foremost, I'm so sorry because I haven't been truthful to you. So forgive me for what I've done. But I believe in this thing called the Fourth Commandment Sabbath, and it's something that I have to do. And they were pretty furious in the beginning. How come you didn't tell us? Why did you keep it from us? All that stuff. And even one of my bandmates who was Jewish, she said, well, I don't see the Sabbath that way. And I was like, well, this is how I see it. And thankfully, one of my bandmates said, Scott, we're all very different people. We all have different needs. Let's try to work with you. Let's try to do that. So since that time, since a Friday to Sunset Saturday, we've
Wow.
never done a gig. Never. And I thought there were going to be times where I had to, but they stood up for me or the situation changed. Like we were touring with Kelly Clarkson and I was like, uh-oh, this is where the band's about to kick me out. But she was so unbelievably nice.
Wow.
She said, okay, I want you guys so badly that on Fridays, you guys go on before the sun sets. And this is a
Wow.
summer tour. And then on Saturdays, right after sunset, you guys go on. And that means she's going on at like 9, 10 p.m. so that I could observe that.
Yo.
So that was super amazing. And I learned two things. One, you have to be so excellent at your work that you are indispensable.
Mm,
That is so important. Be truly excellent in how you conduct yourself. I mean, be humble, of course, too, that, when you make a mistake, you own up to
you
it.
own up to it. Absolutely.
Really do something where people say you are indispensable to the organization so that you are valuable to them and they will make accommodations for you. That's the first thing. And then second, I think when it comes to especially music entrepreneurship, but entrepreneurship in general, you have to create something that is so unique to you that people are willing to make adjustments so that you guys do what you all do best. And I think there was a level of excellence that we tried to bring to the acapella that people were willing to, shift things around. Like Grammys, it's been so nice. I've never had to do a rehearsal on Saturday. And you think, oh my God, the biggest artists, like they're more important, but they've always understood. They're like, okay, we get it. So I'm thankful for that. But we really have to show as people of faith excellence so that people don't see you as faith being a hindrance to you.
Thank you, man. I want to speak to that for a quick minute for all of you guys who are watching along, especially our young adults out there. You're coming into your own and you're trying to figure out your identity in the culture around us. I know that for a long time, we've put ourselves at odds with the culture that we live in so that we don't know how to interact in that space. I think what Kevin has just articulated was amazing because a mature faith lives graciously in the cultures that we are around, doing good like Daniel, like Joseph, doing amazing things with excellence, with goodness, being faithful to your personal spiritual values and principles, living that graciously, and it blesses the people around you. And then God just sets you up in the right spot, man. He puts you where you need to be so that you can do amazing things. Not just as somebody who wins a Grammy, but as somebody who takes out the trash, as a janitor, as a teacher, as a nurse, as a all the way across the spectrum. Each of us matter, and doing it with excellence matters.
I completely agree. And the other thing I'd also say is there's a level of empathy that we have to come and bring when we're doing this work, whatever we do in the secular world. Secular religion, honestly, they're all the same because God's in it. So I don't want
God's
to
in
say
it. He's all the way around. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, I would have people come at me saying like, I can't believe you're doing this kind of secular music. How I have people if they say that to me, I'm like, how are people going to know what we stand for if we're not in these places?
Yeah.
And you're talking about Daniel. I really love that because the cool thing I think about Daniel is that he was excellent in his work. He went to Babylon. He was in the midst of Babylon.
Yo.
Did he partake in certain things? No. But he did learn about the culture. He studied the culture. He interacted with the culture.
He benefited the culture.
He benefited the culture. Like, you're supposed to learn what's going on in culture. That doesn't, and I think as a mature Christian, that's super important. I think as a child, yeah, for sure, those things will influence you. So, maybe as a child, you don't want to have certain things, but when you're a mature Christian, now you have the opportunity to understand why you believe in your faith, but now understand and have empathy for why other people do what they do so that you can make connections. That's
Come
so
on now.
And if you talk about Daniel, once again, like, I love his story because he was one of 3 leaders chosen out of 120 to serve a pagan king. Now think of the things that the pagan king might have asked him to do, right?
Right.
Now the way I always think about this is that if it tarnishes his representation of who God is when he does it, maybe he shouldn't do it. But if it's something that the king has to do, but it has nothing to do with who he is as a Christian, maybe he has to figure out, it's like, I have to figure out those balances.
Absolutely.
And that's going to be something that you're going to be wrestling with every single day.
Absolutely.
But as a mature Christian, wrestle with it. Is it not God that gives you freedom and wisdom? Is it that if you're, James 1:2, you guys know that whole verse, 2 to like 9. You know what I mean? If you're lacking in wisdom, ask God for it because he will give it to you freely, especially if he's called you to the space you're supposed to be in. So just believe that. I am so sorry. I did not mean
Did you go to seminary too, man? Get off my platform, son. That's my job.
I did not mean to start going on this rant. It's just when it comes to this space of things that are outside of the traditional ministry realm,
yeah, absolutely.
We need more people to get the keys of heaven so that they can go to the gates of hell.
Absolutely.
And set the captives free.
Come on, man.
Be scared.
I know that in our faith tradition, it's different for every denomination, and different from Christian community to Christian community, or faith community to faith community. But in our tradition, as Seventh-day Adventists, we really glorify pastors. We glorify people, maybe teachers and doctors, and then anyone else who falls in between those spaces, their job isn't essential. They're optional. And then if you go into something like entertainment of some sort, that's literally Babylon, right? And we've drawn some pretty strict lines in the past. We've come a ways from that. We've come a long ways from that. But a lot of that that residue is still left in us that we feel guilty about living fully in our local context and our culture. But in reality, we've got to do that if we want to make an excellent difference, like Daniel did. I also think of my man Nehemiah, right?
Yeah.
My man Nehemiah was like, he hears about the wall, he cries, he's heartbroken, and the king that he's working for is like, dude, you mean so much to me that I'm going to send you to go build this wall. I'm going to give you money. You get paid leave. Go take your time. I'm going to send stuff with you because of the difference you make in my life.
100%.
Right? Wow.
100%, man. That's what we have to. We have to be a people of excellence.
Yeah.
And never be and be dogmatic about that excellence. Like don't let anything stop you from being the best that you can be, so that people will make amends for you to be the God-fearing person, and they see something beautiful in you.
Come on
so
now.
I completely agree.
Okay, let's play a game real quick. Are you ready?
Let's go, man.
Let's play the love one, leave one. Love one, leave one. So okay. I'm going to put up a 1.5-minute timer on the screen, and then we're going to go through this list, and you have to pick one that you're going to love, which means you're going to keep that in your life, or you're going to
see you.
Leave that thing. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about. I'll keep an eye on the time.
Oh, great. Okay,
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let me set up here. All right, everybody, play along with the love one, leave one. So when I give the options, play along with us. Go ahead and drop that in the comment which ones you want to do. We're gonna move as fast as Kevin can move for a minute and a half.
Oh, here it goes.
Kevin Olusola, are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, ready? Go. Nigerian food or Caribbean food?
Oh no, love both. Sorry.
Yeah, you gotta leave one. You gotta leave one. One's gotta go.
Gosh. You know what? Because I love my mom so much, so I love Caribbean food. Leave Nigerian food. Dad, do not call me on that.
All right. The location. Would you leave Fiji or leave Egypt? Fiji or Egypt?
Oh, I would leave Egypt.
All right, leave Egypt. Okay. Fingernail clippers or deodorant? Leave one, love one.
Deodorant, I love deodorant.
Beyond
Trying to say
Burger or tofu pad thai?
Oh, tofu pad thai, 100%. Love.
Cello or beatboxing?
Let me think. I think cello, love.
Cello. All right. Let's see. Let's keep going here. CPK or Cheesecake Factory?
Oh, CPK, I love. Absolutely.
Ooh, that's
Cheesecake
my
Factory.
spot, bruh. That's my spot. Hands or eyes? One's got to go.
Eyes would go.
Um,
I can't play.
right. Taco Bell or Del Taco?
Oh, probably Del Taco. I love.
Okay. Pop music or classical?
Oh shoot, man! I would have to. I love classical music so much. I'd have to love classical, man.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Carnegie
it's
Hall
hard.
or the Grammys?
Oh, the Grammys, hardcore. Love.
Okay. Oh, we've missed our time, bro.
That was hard.
I know. If I could tell you, you were the worst one at this game.
That's hard, man. Cause you brought some things at me where I'm like, Nigerian or Caribbean, like,
right?
You can't just bring that up to me.
Yeah. Who does that? Why would we ever do that?
Why would you do that to me? Literally, I'm like, if my mom came over here or my dad came over here, I would be they'd be like, what? I ain't trying to have that happen to me. Come on. Trying to get me in trouble.
No, you did well, man. You did well. We got through it, and that's what matters, right?
100%.
I'll give you a couple more since they're on here, but we're past our time. Are you summer or winter?
Summer, 100% love.
Love summer. Okay. Would you rather comedy or romance?
Love comedy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Very good. Yeah, me too. I'm really into comedy. Thanks for playing along, everybody. You guys did a great job. Del Taco has veggie burgers, apparently, according to Joanna. Donovan would keep classical music. Angelo said that he would keep the clippers and not the deodorant.
What?
I think you went the right way, though, man, because listen, you can always chew your fingernails off if you need to.
Yeah, I'll figure out a way. But
You
man,
cannot chew funk off. It does not work like that.
like I said, I'm trying to stay married, man. Thinking.
You're right. Definitely. Cool. Okay. So tell us, how did it feel coming into the Pentatonix at the end of that season? You guys it was really you and what was the other group that you were with that you guys were competing against?
Oh my gosh, it was the Dartmouth Airs and
Yes.
Afro Blue.
Yes. When it came down to that final there, where were you guys at? What were you thinking? And were you confident or were you nervous? And how was the whole atmosphere there?
Sure, I just realized it was Dartmouth Airs and I think Vocal Point from BYU, so I made a mistake on that. I mean, we were tense. I mean, you hope for the best.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's no it's TV, so you never know what's actually gonna happen. So, but it's funny when we found out we won. They had the glitter and the streamers.
Yeah.
It was such a euphoric moment, and I will never forget that moment. It was cool. Like immediately after we had to get on a red carpet, we were hanging out with the Boys to Men guys. We were hanging out with Nick Lachey. It was just this euphoric moment that all the hard work that we had done, because that is literally just the beginning. And I think that's the one thing I didn't realize. I thought that once you win a TV show, oh, now it's smooth sailing.
Yeah.
That is literally, you're just starting your career. And to make a career versus winning a TV show, they're two separate things. And I'll tell you this, I mean, when we won the TV show, 30 days later, we actually got dropped from our label. Because you win a record contract and $200,000, but the label said, listen, we've never seen a precedent of a cappella music making it into the mainstream, so we're going to just kind of have you off the label. And we were like, didn't we just win this contract? Beginning of 2012, we were kind of trying to figure out what we were going to do. And our manager, who we got after the TV show, he said, I actually think this is a beautiful time for you guys, because now you guys get to build the business that you guys want. You guys have no input from label heads telling you that you should add instruments or you shouldn't add it. You get to make the decision and build a brand. So we decided to move to LA, and we started putting up YouTube videos. And it was amazing because the internet, I feel like democratizes the ability for somebody to make it. It gives everybody a chance.
Yeah.
If you're unique enough and all that kind of stuff, and if you're putting out content regularly enough. So, and with YouTube, it's a audio visual medium that was the best distribution platform that we could have ever had to get our music out there, because you need to see a cappella being done and hear it at the same time.
Yeah.
So kind of the rest after that was just not history, but it was just a lot of hard work building momentum on YouTube. But I feel like the big moment that really happened for us was once we had Little Drummer Boy come out. That's when we started to finally call again and say, oh, you know what, you guys are dope. We can understand how you guys would actually make money in the recording industry. And then we signed with a label in 2014, and the rest is history with the double platinum albums, the Grammys, and all that kind of stuff. So
when I was talking with Terry a few weeks ago, we had talked about that, and he said one of the things that he said is that you guys did such a great job at capitalizing on YouTube, because YouTube actually is not very old. It's not very long in the tooth. And you guys came along, and like you were talking about, just timing and God kind of leading things. And he said that that was one of the things that you guys just keyed in on and did a fantastic job at capitalizing, which is true, man. You guys have been putting out some really good content out there. Did you have any idea at the time when you guys won? Did you have any idea where this was all going to lead?
You know what? No. I mean, we thought we could maybe make a career out of it, but it was actually Avi who was the one that really said that he felt like we could do something really, really special. And it was because of his, I think, faith. We kind of believed that we could do something bigger than we all thought. And so that's when we started to really put our mind together and really build something that was, like I said, we didn't think it was going to be this exact, but we thought, let's actually build something that was memorable in the mainstream. And I think that's what we had always wanted. We wanted to be the first real pop a cappella group. And I feel like we've done that. Thankfully.
Yeah, you guys have done a phenomenal job at it. Kevin asked if you guys still keep in touch with the other groups. When I was talking with Terry said that the show was actually very much like family for them there. And so they kind of stayed connected over time. Did the group, the Pentatonix, do you guys all still kind of connect here and there? Do you guys have like a reunion or a holiday gathering or something like that?
We haven't actually done that, but we do keep up like time to time on Facebook and Instagram. Actually, funny enough, one of the girls, Ingrid Andress, who was in one of the groups, the girls group, Delilah, she actually now has a record deal, and she's doing extremely well. She's got a single out. She's now like a country pop star, which is so incredible.
Wow.
One of the girls who was in the country group, goodness, I'm forgetting her name at this moment, but she was nominated for a Grammy this past year for songwriting. So
nice.
Everybody's still doing well in their spheres, which is super, super exciting. So.
Yeah.
And so we keep in touch that way. And I mean, the Committed guys, for me, I mean, I love those guys. Terry's such a good friend. So
he's a good dude, man.
Yeah. And it's it's funny. It's cool. Like every single group that's ever won, there's always been some sort of Seventh-day Adventist in it, which is crazy to me. I think
it's because we love us of them choral music, bruh. We do it all the dang time. We be loving our stuff, man. People don't know. We ready to jump on the spot, man.
Oh, it's so funny.
Other people have like band wars. We have like chorale wars. You know, we get together and have music fests.
For sure.
Crazy Adventist folk.
I know.
So, you know, I was telling Terry, man, I said, listen, so I'm going to tell you, look, man, you guys, are you ready? I'm ready to sing. So just put me on. Like, I'm just letting you know before Committed picks me up, you know, I don't want you to lose out, bro.
That's so
You know,
funny.
nobody in my family likes to hear me sing. So I'm putting out my stuff to other folk. You know what I mean?
That's so funny. We appreciate it. But then if we do that, then it won't be Pentatonix anymore.
You're right. You're right. It'd be like the Hexatonix or like the
Exactly.
the Sexatonix or something. That doesn't sound right. We don't want to market that. Yeah, I understand why I shouldn't be on the group, bro. I get it. Cool. So let me ask a few more questions. We're actually we're out of our time for today. And everybody, thanks for tuning in. I didn't get a chance to stop and introduce, but obviously you all know this is Kevin Olusola, great artist, musician, cellist, beatboxer, the whole 9 yards, a member of the Pentatonix, and a great lover of Jesus who's doing some awesome things to brighten his world around him. Kevin, before we go, I do want to just get to a couple things and touch up on it, because you actually have you have a project that just released. You have an EP that just released. Would you talk about that? I didn't realize this until I went over to your site and I was like, dude, this is killer.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, I wanted to put out some covers of older songs, but remix them in a completely different way. And so it's a project that I'd been working on for past few years, and it finally dropped. It's called the Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood EP, and the premise was just I think a lot of us in this world feel misunderstood. People look at us and they may think of us in a certain way, but they have no idea who we actually are. So
right.
Don't let me be misunderstood. I'm a certain person that I want to bring certain light and joy into the world. So it's fun. It's been a great project.
It's out already on all the major places, so they could find the songs, find the song.
Yeah, if you just go to www.kevinolusola.com, which I think is on the screen, you can find the music there.
Yep, it's right there on the screen. The top one there is Kev's Instagram. Pop on there and follow him as you want to catch up on more stuff. Just under that is really what I kind of want to get to, and I'm sorry we didn't get to it earlier, but it's a link tree for another passionate project that you're working on, and it's called Imagine LA. The handle is Imagine LA Community, correct?
Yeah, 100%.
Can you tell us about this, man?
Yeah, man. Listen, I've been in Los Angeles now for 9 years, and the coolest thing about this city is that there are so many people that come here because they have a gift, whether it's an extrinsic gift, actor, lawyer, doctor, creative, entrepreneur, innovator, pioneer, or it's an intrinsic gift. The idea that maybe you speak in a certain way that's super compelling, or maybe you have a nurturing nature that's uncanny. But we come to Los Angeles because we want to be intentional and purposeful about that gift. However, I think a lot of times people confuse their gift with their purpose and who they are. And so to figure that out, I think faith is part of that conversation. So, this is a group that I started, a couple of years ago, where we get to kind of bring all those kind of people in the same room, people who are really intentional about purpose. And it's great. It's people who are believers and people who are just exploring faith for the first time. And we come together every Friday to talk about how faith in God can help us inform those gifts so that we can really bring out the truest purpose in our world. And so that's where we've done it. And it's been cool. I think you guys know this, with COVID-19, everything's kind of shifted. And so we started to move everything online from the physical space, and it's been cool to see people from now internationally coming to be in the space. So we've really enjoyed it. We've had so much fun, and continue to try to do this because Los Angeles needs Jesus, man.
Come on, man. Hey, listen, that needs to be a hashtag. Your gifts, don't confuse your gifts for your purpose, man. That was a word, really good. I want to give a quick shout out to my guy Mikey Minimo. You know Mikey. Mikey
Or
was instrumental in connecting us and getting us together. Mikey, thank you so much, man. Thanks for loving Jesus and for loving on people and from connecting all of us here in this community. I also want to give props to Imagine LA. So you guys go on there. They do a Friday night thing that's banging. They gather up right now. You'll see that link right there on the just under Kevin, the link tree.
Yeah. Yeah, so that Linktree link, if you go there, you can sign up for our next Zoom conversation, which is not this Friday, but next Friday. But then this Friday, we're actually going to do an Instagram Live, me and one of the guys, Donnell, who's a speaker, a life coach, also a man of God. We get together just to talk about faith, especially for those people that are trying to understand how to dream dreams, how to think about those hard conversations and talk about the gray areas in faith when we're trying to do our best work, like the Daniels, like the Josephs. So
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be bringing Donnie next month. Later on, we're gonna talk about his story and his journey. So yeah, it's gonna be real nice. Kev, thank you so much for coming on with us, man. Can you, here as we round out the afternoon, give us some words of encouragement to our young adults out there? Maybe somebody is just finishing high school and isn't able to do their graduation. Maybe it's somebody in college right now who's struggling with how they're going to keep moving forward to meet their goals. Maybe it's a young adult professional living in LA who's feeling super alone, or a couple who's struggling with their first baby in the COVID close quarters. Speak to us, man. Would you please give us a few words here as we close out?
Yeah, for sure. What I would say is that you are not alone. It says in Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous? For oh my gosh, be strong and courageous. Now I lose the verses. I'm trying to be like, have all wisdom. Yeah, do not be dismayed nor afraid. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go, something like that. I was about to be all like, wise, but basically God is with you in every single situation when you're facing the biggest battles of your life. He promised he would be there. And the absence of his presence is not the presence, is not necessarily him being absent. Ooh. That's not the case. Just because you don't feel him does not necessarily mean he's there. We walk by faith, not by sight. And that's something where you see it with your eyes closed. Absolutely. So know that the Lord is there. You don't have to feel him. Know that he's there as much as you can. So, yeah, man. And for the young person, I know that it seems not cool to love Jesus, but you're building a foundation for whenever you grow up, that foundation is going to carry you. And people are going to wish they had the foundation you had. I can promise you right now.
That's the truth, my man. That's a good word. That's a good word. Thanks, everybody, for hanging in there and joining us and getting through all of our glitches. I want to give a quick shout out as well to the One House team. Thank you guys for all your hard work and your leadership, for coming through, for making things happen. I know it seems like I'm in front of the camera a lot, but there's a ton of work that's always being done behind the camera. All of our young adult leaders and pastors around Southern California Conference. Thanks for the great work. For those of you who are with us now, thanks for catching Kevin Olusola and myself as we did this. Want to let you know, May 24th to May 30th, we are going to be rocking all week doing some really cool things at our One House page as well as on our YouTube page. On our YouTube page, please go and subscribe because when you subscribe, it helps us and then we could all stay together. All right. Make that happen. You see Kevin's IG handle there. So jump on there, follow him. Any closing words, Kev, that you want to give?
No, man, I love you guys. Thanks for having me on, and just, keep the faith, y'all. You guys got it.
Would you do me a favor, bro? And maybe afterwards, we didn't get to put up all of the cool comments that were coming through. Just maybe look through the stream and answer a few along the way, Kev. Could you do that?
Yeah, I could definitely do that.
All right. Hey, God bless you all. Thanks for your time here together at Tuesday Tea Time. Next week, we're having Melanie Timey, the shift charge nurse over at the White Memorial Medical Center. She works for the ICU unit. There's that's the COVID unit there that they have. And she's going to just give us an update and talk about her story and her life and the hard work that she puts in taking care of these individuals who are sick. And a couple of weeks down the line, we're going to be talking with some of the chaplains from La Sierra University, Loma Linda University. We're going to be talking with Jacqueline Jewell. And of course, down the line, we're going to be talking to the the Laundry LA truck. The Laundry LA truck? The Laundry Truck LA. It's a small group of professionals that are going out. They've got a little truck, bro, where they do laundry for people that need laundry to be done. So, yeah, we're gonna have an exciting few weeks ahead of us. Kev, thanks, man. Love you much, bro.
Of course, man. Appreciate it.
All right, fam. God bless you guys, and thanks for joining us for Tuesday Tea Time.
Bye, y'all.